Hi guys, hope you guys are doing well. We will start the session in a minute. Just be with me. Right, guys. Uh, let's start. The session. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Yes, Lena. But the sound is coming again and again. Hi guys. Actually, I was on another platform. That's why I was on mute on this platform. But now I'm live here. So I'll be talking here and I'll be sharing my screen and let's see how the JavaScript session goes today. And I hope you guys are excited for the session because I'm excited and I prepared myself for the things. All right. All right, guys, I'll share my screen and I'll share my screen now. Awesome. Uh, all right, I'll start the session now. So today's session will be about JavaScript. So till now we have discussed about CSS, HTML. We have already built a portfolio website. I'll show you how it looks like. So if you see here, uh, this is how the portfolio website that we made looks like. If you see here, this is the project, this is the small footer, and this is the navigation bar, and this is the about section. This was the small portfolio website that we made yesterday. If you want the source code, I can share the source code from my GitHub. Okay, I go to my repositories and I'll share this to you guys. It's open. You can just clone it and you are good to go. Okay. All right. So we'll start the JavaScript session now. Okay. So let me close these tabs. What we need here is this tab. Let's make this full screen. And along with this screen, I need my VS Code. So now you can see that we have VS Code here and we have our HTML here. So this is the HTML that we have. And if you see, let me add something in the body. Let's say, welcome to the Java session. Let me reopen this. Okay. So this is our HTML file that we know how it looks like. And now we'll be starting with JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript is I can't teach you all theories and stuff right now. So I'll be teaching you the basic things so that you can at least build a small project out of it. Okay. There are a lot of theories of scopes and hosting and whatnot. So we can't dive deeper into the theories of and everything, how how JavaScript functions, and how can we see the JavaScript in the browser, and how the browser engine works and stuff. We can't discuss those things right now, but we'll be learning the basics of JavaScript today. Okay. So to start with JavaScript, as I discussed in that PPT, JavaScript is used to add functionality to your website, right? If you want to click something and you wish to, something happens on your website, it could be add to cart, it could be sign up and something, then everything which requires an action is, for that JavaScript is responsible on that particular website. Okay. So any action that you can, so if you want to make your website so that people take action on your website, you have to use JavaScript, and you have to make your website dynamic in nature so that you can add functionalities to your website. Okay. So in order to write JavaScript, there are two ways of writing JavaScript. Okay. First way is you can write JavaScript inside an HTML itself. The way we had style tag, right? We had style tag and we can write CSS, right? Like this. Yesterday we wrote a lot of CSS, Flexbox also. And I'm sorry, I was not able to go deep inside what Flexbox is and what are the different properties and flex item, flex container, and everything. But I hope you understood what happened. How can we write CSS so that we can create at least something out of it. So the way we write CSS, let's say, let me select this tag and color blue, right? So this was what we were writing CSS inside an HTML element, right? In similar way, we can write JavaScript inside the HTML element script. Okay. So in script tags, you can actually write your JavaScript. Okay. If you want to see, I'll be showing you the same thing afterwards. But the second way is the way we can attach the style sheets on with this HTML. In similar way, we can attach the the script files, that is JavaScript files, to an HTML. Okay. Now what I have done is, I have, if you see my folder structure, day 4 JavaScript, first is HTML document and second is JavaScript. Okay. So what I'm doing is, whatever JavaScript that I'll be teaching you today will be teaching you through this particular JavaScript file, that is script this. Okay. So I have tried my best to structure the today's learning, but let's see if there is some add-ons that I want to teach you in between the session. Okay. So two ways of writing JavaScript. You can write inside script text, and second is you can link the script, and it will be linked. Okay. Now, if you want to see your JavaScript inside the browser, you have to open the console. Okay. So whatever JavaScript you write will be shown here. Okay. How? Let's say I'm writing a variable name A. Okay. And let me give it as 10. Okay. And if I want to access this particular element A inside the console, how can I do that? Okay, so just want to tell you that JavaScript is little different compared to the languages you might have already learned, like C, C++, and stuff. I hope my screen is visible, right? I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, cool. Yeah, all right. So if you want to write JavaScript inside of HTML, and if you want to access that, you can access those variables inside your browser console. So I've opened the console. What you have to do is console.log. If I do A, you can see I can access the value of the variable A inside the browser. So whatever properties, whatever functions and variables and data types, whatever we write today, will be accessing those in the browser console. Even you can write your JavaScript in the console itself. Let's say if I write variable b equals to 8, and if I type enter, and if I do console.log b, then you can access that variable. So you can write the entire JavaScript in the console as well. It will work well, but still we are using this so that we can format and structure the learning that I'll be giving you today. Okay. All right. So let's start with what is JavaScript. So JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. What I mean by dynamically typed. So we don't have to tell JavaScript that, okay, I'm using this particular variable, uh, but we don't have to tell that, okay, this variable is a string, it is a word, it is a character, or it is a array of list, a list of something, or a number. So we don't have to tell JavaScript. It will understand automatically that whatever we type. Okay. So what I mean is, okay, I'll while teaching you the other topics, I'll teach you what I'm trying to tell you. So today, the topic that we'll be covering here will be uh, data types, variables, and scopes. Not in detail. Scopes I won't be able to teach in detail. Operators, if else statement, loops, functions, event handling. Event handling might go to tomorrow. Okay, so we'll see if we are able to cover it today. We'll cover it today, or we can do it tomorrow as well. All right. Cool. We'll start with data types. What are data types? So whenever someone asks you what are data types, you can answer them that okay, uh, anything that can store some data is anything which can store a type of data is a variable. Okay, and that type of data that we are storing are the data types. So every variable whatever we choose can store some data, and the type whatever we're storing in that particular variable are the data types. Okay, so how many type of data we can store in JavaScript variables? So there are total these are the basic ones. I'm not going into detail again. The first is string. Okay, and second is number. Make number begin as same. I don't want to teach this. So let's move this as 4 and 5. Yeah, we won't go into details right now. I just want to make this simple, and I don't want to add more lot of information in your mind right now that okay, what is this, what is that, and stuff. Just learn basics, create something, then along with the journey of creating projects and stuff, you'll be learning a lot of things. Okay, so don't add unnecessary information in your brain so that it gets stuck and you get confused, and then you end up leaving coding. Okay, that thing I don't want, because uh it might happen if you add more and more information in your brain, and it's if you're not able to process that, and if you're not able to understand what uh, so many things are, it's fine, but you just learn basics, create something, and keep learning, keep creating, and everything will be fine, and you'll enjoy whatever JavaScript that you learn if you limit your learning. Okay, all right. So we'll start with string, number, boolean, undefined, null, and then there are non-primitive. So there are two types of JavaScript data types. Some are primitive and some are non-primitive. What is meaning of primitive? Primitives are the data types that can store single value. Single value. Okay. And non-primitives are, of course, who can store more values, more than one. Okay. So there are 5 type of primitive, data types that we have right now. There are other like symbol and stuff, but we won't discuss that today. Just focus on the basics. All right. Uh, all right, guys. Cool. So next is string. What is string? So if I write, let's say, so in JavaScript, if you want to declare a variable, there are 3 different ways, but there is one way which is called variable, and then you can assign, let's say, a equals to string. This is a string. Can you see? So whatever the statement that you write into the quotations is a string. It could be a single word, it could be a sentence. Okay, it could be anything in statement form. So that okay, anything in statement form is a string. Okay, understood. All right. Now, second is number. What is number? So let's say where b equals to 5, 7. Let's say 7. So you can see that any number that you want to store is a number data type. There is nothing more to explain here, but I'm just telling you. And then next, let's say variable c equals to true. This is what? This is a boolean. So anything which is true or false that you can assign to a variable is a boolean data type. You can also assign it as false. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, now if you want to check that, okay, there is some data type stored in some variable, but you don't know what type of data type is that. So JavaScript has this way to to determine the type of data. For that, you have to use type of, as you can see here, and then just write the variable name. Let's say A. You can see what I've done is I've checked that what type of data is stored in variable A. I've written type of A. I can do the similar thing by writing type of data B, that is number. If I write type of data C, it is showing boolean. So whatever we have written is correct, right? You can see A is a string, B is a boolean, and C is sorry, B is a number and C is the boolean. Okay. Now these are two important data types which are interchangeably used but are not similar when, and it's not, if you are a beginner in JavaScript in the coding world, it won't be easy for you to understand it properly, but I'll try my best to put this here. Okay. uh, what I'll do is, let me comment this in JavaScript. If you want to comment, you can do the similar thing, just slash slash, and then you can put it in this way. So we are just commenting out. All right. So in undefined, what is undefined? Let's say there is a variable name uh, hello. If I put hello as undefined, what does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? If I put a variable name, let's say by, and what does that mean? If I console log hello, what it will show? It should show me undefined, right? Right. Now, if I console log I from here, what it should show? It is also showing me undefined. Okay. What is meaning of undefined? Undefined is just simply means that you haven't, it is defined, like you haven't defined that particular variable. Okay, it is there, but you haven't defined what it is. It's, if you go with the definition, if you go with the word undefined, it just means that it's nothing more than that. There are other story behind how it works and stuff, but it is under hoisting. There is a concept called hoisting, where I can take entire session in hoisting and stuff, but we can't go that deep right now. So what we'll do is, for now, understand, whenever someone asks you what is undefined, you can tell them that any variable that is declared, but we don't know what that particular element stores, we can tell that, that variable is having an undefined data type property. Okay. Okay. So what now, the next is, what is meaning of null? So if say there is a variable called let's say React. Okay, there is a variable called React. If I put React as null, what does this mean? Okay, so what we are doing here is, we are telling JavaScript that, hey, there is a variable called React that I've created, but for now I don't know what value that, but it basically, we are assigning null value to that. What does that mean is, you are not assigning any value to that, so React is empty right now. Okay, it doesn't have any value. Okay. Okay, there is a big, that there might be a big confusion between what is undefined and what is null. So if I start, explaining you in detail right now, then it will take an entire 1 hour for me. So I'm just telling you that whenever someone asks you that what is difference between null and undefined, you can tell them null means I'm assigning no value, and undefined means we don't know what that particular variable may hold. Okay. All right. Why I'm telling you may hold, because if you see here, if I declared this by, I don't know what that buy will there, but in future, if I assign 5 to buy, there might be a possibility I can assign that. But okay, so and what I'm trying to tell you is it is undefined, that okay, there is, we don't know what value that particular variable holds. Okay, I don't want to go deep into that. It is very interesting topic, I can teach you, but for now let's limit our learning, and you can just read some article or some video that will help you out to understand this basic thing of what is difference between undefined and null. Okay, so for now I've just taught you the answer that you can tell people if someone asks you. Okay, all right, next is object. Okay, so what are non-primitive type of data types? Any data type that has more than one value stored is called object. Sorry, it's called non-primitive data types. Let me see if any questions. No. Okay, fine. Awesome. So yeah, now what are non-primitive data types? There are two type of data types. If you ask me, there is only one data non-primitive data type, that is an object. An array is also an object. I'll show you how. Okay, so how we write objects? Okay, I'll tell you. So suppose there is a variable name obj, let's say, because it is an object, like just giving this number. Whenever you write object, you have to write two things. One is the key, one is the value. Okay, so every object, sorry, okay. So every object is a container of key value pairs. Okay, what are key value pairs? If you see on left hand side of the colon, there is a key, we can call that a key. Right hand side is the value of which is mapped to that particular key. Okay, so this is how we can write objects. We can write, let's say, car, let's say Volvo, or we can say a country as, let's say, India. Okay, now the question is, how can we access this? Okay, if I console log, okay, let me increase the, you know, here, if let me increase this size. If I console log object from here, how it will look like? Okay, this is how an object looks like. There is a car whose value is a Volvo, car is a key, and country is a key, and its value is India. All right, this is how we write objects. Okay, if I want to access the value Volvo, how can I do that? There are two ways. So there can be multiple, but I'll be teaching you the basic right now, as I told. If you see, if you go with obj, and if I write here car, if I write the key name inside, I'll be able to access the value of that. Okay, so for now just learn this, because we'll be using this only if you're using this. Don't add much of the information. If you want to access something, just put square brackets at the value of the key, and you'll be able to access that. Okay, all right, you can do that by this way also. So if you want to access any value of any key inside the object, what you have to do is just put a curly braces, write a key name, or you can just put a dot, and then you can write the key name, and it will get the value of that. These are the two basic ways of fetching the value from the object of the particular key value pair. Okay, I hope it was clear. All right, so this is how we write objects, and how this is how we can access value from the objects. Okay, now let's go with arrays. Okay, so what are arrays? Arrays are also the list of items that we can store in a container. So it is also a type of container which can handle a number of values. How can we write arrays? It's simple. We can write it by where arr. We have to write in square brackets. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, or we can say A B C D. A B C. Okay. So that is an array. What happened? Okay, I've done this somewhere or what? Yeah, I have to remove this. All right. So if you see, there is a variable whose name is ARR, and it contains an array, or you can say a list of values, which is A, B, and C. So as I already told you guys, that array is also an object. Don't believe me? I'll show you how. If you type, if you see again, what we'll do, will be consoling log array. What do you think it will show? It is an array, right? You can see how it looks like. It's similar. But if you open this, what you are seeing is an array is also an object with inbuilt keys. What I mean? So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, whenever you write an array, what JavaScript does is it will assign an index for each item, and which will be a key of that particular item. Okay, so here array is also a key value pair with fixed keys that JavaScript gives us, and we can call those keys as index. What I mean is, a as an index of zeros. Array always, in arrays, indexes start from 0. So for array, this a for index of the value a is 0, index of value b is 1, index of value c is 2. Okay, now if I want to access the value of b, how can I do that? Remember how we used to do in objects? Similar way, what I can do is I put arr at which position I want the object. You have to subtract 1, because in arrays the lists start from 0. So a is 0. If you see my cursor here, a is 0, 1 is b, and 2 is c. So if I want to access b, I have to write 1 here, and you can see I'll be able to access b. What I'm doing is, which is super similar to this, right? If I open this, okay, if I do like object, and if I add car, what I'm getting is Volvo. Why? Because for the key car corresponding to that, we have the value Volvo. All right. Similar way, as I told you, an array is also a list of key value pairs, but they have a fixed index. I mean the fixed keys. If you want to access that, what you have to do is you just go ahead and array, and then whatever value you need. Let's say I want value c, so we have to write 2, because that is the key. Okay, it's the way we are accessing here. What we are doing is we access car, and we get Volvo. Similar way, if you want to access c, you just have to add the key. Okay, so this is the very core concept that lot of developers don't know, that arrays are also objects, and if you want to access those, we are just giving them keys. The similar way we want to access objects, and we are giving keys, and they give us value. All right. So for now, don't put your head into, okay, it is an object and array is how array is different than and stuff. It's not different, it's similar only. But if you want to access Just remember that array index of array starts from 0. So only thing you need to remember is index of array starts from 0. So if you want to access the last element, what you have to do is you have to subtract 1 from the length. Okay, why? Because it starts from 0. You can't add like what happens if you want to access C? What you are doing is, what is the length of the array? 3, right? But you're subtracting 1, 2. If you access array 2, you will get C. So you have, if you want to get the last element of the array, just subtract 1 from the length. If you want to get first element of the array, you can put it 0. Okay, simple. What if you want to get the length of array? If there is, let's say there is large array and it has a number of values inside that, and if you want to know that what is the length of the array, you can't go and count one by one and do that, right? So there is a way we can check the length of an array. How can we do that? All you have to do is array dot length. My bad. If you go here and do like this, it will show me the length of that array. What does the length means? You They are just counting the number of elements that are present in that particular container. Okay, that's it. Nothing to do with index. What if it contains this is what I was telling you guys. If there is a D and let's say E, okay, or E, okay. So if let's say I don't know the length of an array and I want to get the value of last element in that particular array, what will I do? What I need to do is, what first of all I have to get the index of that last element, right? So in order to get the index of last element, what I will do is, let me do it here. So I'll create a variable with the name of, let's say, last, and then I'll do is I'll put array dot length -1. -1 because index always starts from 0. Now if I put array, inside that if I put last, and then if I do this, you can see I am able to access the last value of an array. Okay, this is a thing we'll be using repetitively in our loops and functions and stuff, so it will be handy for you later on, but for now just understand the concept of how array works and how can we access values from arrays and objects. Okay, just want to see everything is fine. Yeah, I hope everything is fine and working. All right, awesome, cool. So next up what we have is, okay, yeah, the only thing you need to remember here is the index starts from 0. That's it. All right, we have covered objects, arrays, and other data types. Now we have to go with variables. Okay, what are variables in JavaScript? So there are three type of variables in JavaScript. So this is also a very detailed topic. What is where, so that we can write Java. We can write the variables in JavaScript in three ways. One is where, let's say where a equals to a1, or we can write let a equals to 1. We can't write this. We can write this, but it has already been declared, so we can't. Let's say b. We can write const c equals to 1. Okay, so these are three ways in which we can write our JavaScript. Okay, three types of variable. What is the difference? I can't go deep, but I'll tell you the answer that you can tell people that okay, I know what is the basic difference between where, let, and const. Okay, the first difference between these two is where is a global scope. Okay, what I mean by global scope. What is scope at the first place? Okay, scope. If you ask me the general definition, scope is the place where we can access that variable. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, if there is, let's say there is a function, and okay, cool. So whatever we are doing right now is everything is in the global scope. Okay, we haven't learned functions and loops and everything, but gradually once we are there, you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so just for now understand that variable is a, if here, which is where, is a global scope, and these two are block scope. What do you mean by block? Okay, okay, what do you mean by block? So block is nothing but curly braces. So whatever you write in the curly braces is a block. Now I'll tell you what is the difference. So if I declare a variable a here, and if I do this, and if I say console log a, I'll be able to access that. You can see here, right? But if I do this, and if I do console.log b here, okay, it's the same value. And if I do console.log, okay, let me put the curly braces here. Okay, I'm able to access value of all those three things who are assigned in the global scope, right? What if I interchange the position of console log and variables? Okay, let's do that. Now what I'm doing is I will declare this variable inside this, and I will console log them outside. Okay, let's quickly do that. Okay, I got one error. Okay, I'll tell you what's happening here. Okay, so what is happening right now, as I told, where is a global scope? Wherever you can declare where variable anywhere in the entire script, and you can access it everywhere. But if you are declaring the variable, here in our case variable b is declared in block, and you are trying to access that outside of the block, which is not possible in JavaScript. Okay, so here JavaScript runs like it is single threaded language. So what it does is, if you are getting an error in between, it won't go down. What I mean is, if I remove this, it will show me the error of C, because now there is no, because we're not logging the value of B. All right. So this is how, this is a simple way I can teach you that what is block scope and what is global scope, and why let and const are the block scope variables. Okay. Now few more things I want to teach you about where let and const. Okay. So let me do something. Okay. So what I'm doing now is, there is a variable a with number one. Okay, there is a variable a with a value number assigned 1 to the variable a. Now later on I realized that I don't want to assign 1, I want to assign 3 to that variable. Now in case of where we can do that, but if I try to do that in case of let and const, it won't be possible. Okay, so let's say, well, name of element variable b is 2, and if I try to do that again, you can see I am getting a syntax error. It shows that identifier b has already been declared. What does that mean? That means that we cannot redeclare an element which has an let variable, which are the let variables, or in similar in const also. Okay, if say const c equals to something, and let's say const d c equals to something, it will have the same issue. Cannot redeclare const and let. So it is a restriction that we are having, and it is a very good thing that we can restrict ourselves, and we can help our code to get some unique value and not a global value. What if I'm using a 10 times in the code? It will keep reassigning and redeclare, and everything will happen, and you won't be able to decode where the problem is. That's why const and let help us to restrict our assignment and will help us to debug our code easily. Okay, all right. Now we can't redeclare these things, but what we can do is we can reassign these things. What do I mean? So what I mean is, if I show you this, if I declare b, let's say there is a variable b, but I don't know what value it holds, right? Okay, sorry. So what I do is, if I go ahead and write b equals to 2, this I can do. What is this? I'm reassigning the value. I can assign the value, but I cannot redeclare. And in case of const, I can't do this as well. I can't do like c and then c equals to 3. I can't do this because const is, we can't redeclare, and neither we can reinitialize this particular variable. We can reinitialize b, that is let, but we can't do the same with const. Okay, I hope the differences are clear. You can go around if you want more details and stuff. Okay, all right. Now we'll move to arithmetic operations. So that is addition. So what, it's simple, right? You can write 5 plus 6, it's 11, it's an addition. If you write 11 minus 10, it's subtraction. Then if you write let's say 44 minus what is division, divide by 4, it will give me 11, it's division. What is modulus? It's a remainder. So if I write 11 divide by, let's say 10, it's a modulo 10, it should give me remainder. What remains? 1, right? Increment. So if I have, let's say, variable a equals to 10, if I do a plus plus, and if I do a, it will be 11. So what I'm doing is I'm incrementing the value of variable a by 1. In similar way, if I do a minus minus, and if I see a, or if I do minus minus again, if I see a, it will show me 9. It's a decrement operation. Okay, I hope things are clear. All right, cool. Next is comparison. Okay, so what are comparison? There are two types of equalities that we have in two types of equality we hold in there are two types of equality operators in JavaScript. One is double equals to, second is triple equals to. What does that mean? If let's say we are having a variable, okay, right, let me write here. Okay, let me write here only. So if let's say there is a variable called a name, which is equals to, let's say, Pritesh. Okay, and or let's say, let me clear everything, let me refresh. So what I'll do is, there is, let's say there is a variable with a equals to 2. So this is a string right now. Whenever you write a quotations, that means that you are assigning a string to a. If you don't believe me, you just write type of a, it is string, right? You can assign variable b as what is the type of B? You can say number. Now, what does double equals to means? So if I do A equals to B, it will tell me true. That means A is equal to B. But we can see that, yeah, the values are same, but the data types are different. So when you are applying double equals to, they are not checking what type of data they have. They just check the value that, okay, there is a value of 2 here, there is a value of 2 here. Okay, they are equal. Let's show us true. But if you do triple, my bad. If you do triple equals to, and it will show false. So if you want to strictly check the equality, you have to put triple equals to. It will check first is what type of data they have, data type, and also the data value. Okay, it's just very strict in that case. Yeah. So here if I do if I go ahead and say not equals to uh, not equals to, yeah, whenever you are declaring this, it's not equals to is true. But if you do this, say in similar way, we whenever there are two equals, it will show false because they are same, because you are using two equals to. All right. Greater than, less than, I don't think so I have to explain these things. If anything is greater than this, it will show true. If greater than equals to, less than equal to, these are pretty simple, right? We have learned this many times, right? If you are a math student, you will be able to understand what I'm trying to tell you, because I can't spend time on this things. So you can google around and you'll be able to understand. It's not very hard to learn. The way I taught you, that equals to, it will give you a boolean output that, okay, if a has 10, B is 8, and you see A is greater than B, it will show true. If A is less than B, it will show false. It's not a big deal there. Okay. Now there are called logical operators. Okay, so I'll teach those logical operators. There are three type of logical operators in if else. Okay, so next is how can we add conditionals in JavaScript. Okay, so the first way of writing if else is, what we do is we write this way. We write condition if else statements. If you see, we have to write if, in parenthesis, then you have to write condition. Okay, what type of condition? Let's say there is a very we always use let a equals to, let's say, 10, and if say let b equals to 10. What condition I want to see? That is a equal to b. I'm putting 3. uh, okay, so that means it will, I want to console log the message. So if you see this block from here to here, this will run only if the condition is true. If the condition is false, it will run this else statement. Okay, I'll show you. I console log and I write that a is equal to b. And if I write, if a is not if the condition is false, you have to write a is not equal to b. All right. If you see what happened, have I used a before somewhere? Okay, that is some issue and has already been declared. Let me refresh this. Have I declared a or what somewhere? Okay, let me use something else I might have declared. Let's say p and q, and q, p and q. Okay, so if you see that a is equal to b, right? So what I am trying to tell you, if the statement is true in the condition, then it will throw that whatever you write in that block, it will run. Else it will run whatever is in else block. What is a block? this curly braces are the block in JavaScript. Okay, cool, awesome. So I hope things are clear in your mind, and let's move to next. So if, let's say, if I tell that, okay, if is p not equal to 2, but it is false, right? Because p is equal to 2. That's why what it has printed, you can see a is not equal to b. These are p and q, my bad. So what can I do is p and q. Okay, so if you see here, yeah, this was about this. But if you have multiple condition, if you want to keep checking and stuff like that, what I'm trying to tell you is, if I have, let's say, let's take the same example, and let's say, uh, I want to add one more condition. So let me add one more variable. Let's say r equals to, let me put this as 10. Okay, and if I want to check another condition, that is p equal to r. If yes, then run this, p is equal to r. Else, if this is not true, then what you can do is console.log, that's in nothing. Right now, what it is showing me, it's showing me nothing, because uh, none of the statement is true. Okay, let me put this as r. All right. If you see p, if this statement is false, right? Because p is equal to 2, and what I've written is p is not equal to 2. That's why the statement is false. That's why it is not going in if block. Now, if you see the next block is if else, and if you see the condition, it's showing that p is equal to r. When there is double equal, remember what I told? We are not checking type of data. We are just checking values in the data. What type of value we hold in that particular variable. It's p and q. P and R both are 10. So yes, condition is true. I'll run this if else block, and what it is written, P is equal to R. My bad. P is equal to R. Okay. I hope things are clear in your mind. All right. This is how we write conditionals in JavaScript. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Rest I'll explain you later. All right. Any questions till now? If you have, you can put it. I'll be waiting for 5 minutes or something. If you have any questions and stuff, I can. Please drop questions if you have. I'll answer your questions if you have any. Else, I'll move ahead with other things. All right. I'll go ahead for now. Let's see. Okay. Next is loops. Okay. So there are different types of loops we have in JavaScript. There are three types of loops that which are very common in nature. Any programming language will have these three loops that I'm going to discuss today. If you have any knowledge of any programming language, this must be familiar to you. Okay, so let's say first type of what is the first type of loop? For loop, our favorite for loop, right? We are using for loop from childhood. I remember the first time I was learning language C. Uh, for loop are like most one of the most fascinating topics, because we have to print different patterns, right? In for loop, that is star pattern, that is pyramid and whatnot. We put designs, and we also can write names with the pattern and stuff like that, right? So yeah, they're fun, but in JavaScript, they are heart of JavaScript. Okay, so we can do a hell lot of things with with this particular for loop or any particular loop in general. The for loop are like when you are when when you learn JavaScript and when you start learning React and Next and everything. And in that scenario, for loops are like very very handy to you, and you keep using them. In that, when you learn React and stuff, the form of loops that you use are different. There are map and then filter and reduce and stuff, but they what they do is they are just looping a particular array or an object, and they are just iterating over and getting us a value of the item. Okay, but yeah, so let's go ahead and learn for loop. So in for loop we always give these three things. Okay, first is from where you want to start the loop. Suppose there is a loop of 1 2 3 4 5. I want to start from 0, and then what I'll do is uh, the first value that I has is 0 right now. Okay, now what is does is then it moves to next. Till what is the limit of increment of I? What do I mean? So what I'm doing right now is I have an array of 5 right now. I am running a for loop and I want to console log all the items. So what I'm doing right now is that is nothing to do with array. Okay, let me change this to ABCD, else it will confuse you. uh, a Let's say ABC. Okay, these are the three things. To see if you have any questions. Okay, there are no questions. So if you can see that there are three things right now, A, B, C. What does these three things do? For now, in our for loop, they're doing nothing, right? Because what I'm doing is I am console logging only the value of I. So what is, if you think of how loops are working, there is value of I which is assigned to value of 0 which is assigned to I. Now in next block, next you can see that you are just adding a limit to I, that if the value of I in the loop should be less than array dot length. What is array dot length? I remember I told you array dot length tells us the length of that particular array. So here we are just using the length of the array as a limit to stop the for loop. That is 3. So if I should be less than 3, and then we have to increment. So if you see how it works is 0. Is I value of I is less than an array of length which is 3? Yes, it is 0 right now. So just print that. Okay, now it goes it here again. Then they say that it increments. First of all, it will increment by 1, and then it will ask that, okay, is 1 less than 3? Yes, it is. Then it will log it, and it will again go and increment it to 2, and then they will ask that, okay, the value is 2, is it less than 3? Yes. And then it again increments, the value is 3 now. If they ask like, is the value of 3 less than 3? It's not, right? So it will break the loop and it won't go ahead. What if I want to print the values of this 3? All I need to do is I just have to put here array and then I. Simple. What I'm doing is I'm just iterating array with the help of the indexes. So initially it was 0. What is 0 of array? A. 1 2 3, right? So just putting indexes here and just getting values. This is how you loop things in the for loop. Things get interesting when it comes to other loops. Okay, I need to drink some water for a while. Okay, so I'll drink some water. Till the time you can drop some comments if you have. Okay, just if If you have any questions related to anything, whatever I taught, JavaScript and stuff, so you can, just go ahead and ask me right now so that I'll be able to answer them. Okay.
So somebody will have score. Yeah. What I'm trying to tell you is, then maybe we need a UI that allows us to go in here and select all of your.
Okay. Any questions, guys? All right. Awesome. Cool. I share my screen again. Uh, okay. You can see the screen now, I guess. Now I'll go back to our VS Code. Yeah, here it is. So if you see now, the second type of loops that we'll be having today is the while loop. What does this loop do? So if you want to uh, go with a while loop, they are little different and tricky to understand, but still I'll be telling you how they work. Is in while loop we tell them that, okay, if the value is less than something, or first of all we put a condition here. If the condition is true, then and only then we'll be able to put other things here. So what do I mean by that? So if right now the value of count is 0, let's say there is a variable called count and value is 0. What while will do? It will check it here. Is 0 less than 5? Yes. Then log the value 0. You can see here 0. Then increment it to 1. It will again go here. Increment to 1, right? So now it will check 1, true, go here, 2, 3, 4. When it comes to 5, the loop will break because 5 is not less than 5, right? The last print will be of 4 because 4 is less than 5. And here, this is how it works. Like it checks the condition first and then does the work, whatever they want to do. All right. Cool. Now next up we have do while. Okay. If you see here, this is again little different compared to while. What we do here is we don't check the condition first. We let the operation do first and then we check it. What we do here is, okay, value of count is 0. Let me print this first. Let me print this first and then let me increment it to 1 and then let me check. If the value is 1, if the value is less than the condition, that is 5, then and only then it will go ahead, like go again in the same loop and stuff, right? When it comes to 4, yes, it is true, but when it comes to 5, it won't go back, right? Okay, there is plus plus 4 and then it will be like 5 because it has already printed 4. What is 4 plus plus? It is 5, and then it will check the condition. Okay, 5 is not less than 5, and then we'll go again in the loop, and then we'll see that, okay, the condition is not true, so the loop will break. In while, we check the condition first and then do the operation, and do while we do the operation first and then check the condition. There might be a case in tech that, okay, we don't want to, we want to do in this phase stuff. So yeah, this is how we do it. Okay. All right. Yes, guys, so this was pretty much. There are functions and stuff. This might take time for me to explain you guys, but what I will do now is, there are two things left now. We have covered everything. We are left with this, and we are left with this. So I have an urgent thing to do right now, so I have to leave for that. But I've covered pretty much all the basics of JavaScript. Okay. And if you want to learn JavaScript more, so what I'll recommend you is, you have this 3 website, W3 School. Okay, this website. MDN docs and JavaScript info. Okay, this three website are very good resources uh, of learning JavaScript. This and MDN docs. This. Okay, you go ahead and W3 school. Okay, you can also go with free code camp. This is also a really good website if you want a video, and if even if they have a good blogs written. These are the resources from where you can learn JavaScript for free, and they have a really good you know things explained in very easy manner. Okay, all right guys, that's it for now. If you have any questions and stuff, ask in our Discord channel. Where is the link? You can go with ReactPlay.io. Then let me share you the link of Discord. I might have here. They might have the link of the Discord. Yes, here. So join this Discord and okay, you'll be good to go. All right. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I hope the today's session was helpful. And see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be creating a project of food delivery app with like the menu calculating the what is the total of whatever food you ordered and how many are the quantity of particular item that you are ordering. So we'll be using that, and yeah, we are good to go. Tomorrow is the last day of that, and tomorrow I'll be sharing the resources for this as well. So hope you guys uh, you know will I hope this boot camp is helping some of the people in some way. And if you are not able to cope up with the speed, then yeah, thanks Tapas for adding that. But yeah, if you're not able to cope up with the speed, you can reach me out anytime on my Twitter. This is my Twitter handle. So if you go here, okay, it's loading, but yeah, if you go here, and I'll share my Twitter handle as well. If you have any questions, you can reach me out directly here as well. I'll be happy to help. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, and see you. Have a good night. Right.